Hello, everyone. Welcome on our Q&A live session. And since you are not allowed to speak here, please use this chat on the right side of your window for your questions, and we will answer it during this session. Thomas, could you please tell me if you are hearing me?
Yes. Hello, Maria. I'm hearing you well. I hope all our attendees can hear you also.
Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm going to share my screen right now. So I hope everything will work fine. And if you have any issues about the technicalities of this session, feel free to ask or let us know in the chat as well. We will, hello, Radomir. If you have any technical issues, feel free to let us know in this chat section on the right side, and one of us will do our best to help you to solve it. First of all, I would like to thank to all of you for joining this Q&A live session, and also for a very positive feedback we received after the Qlik World. And I really appreciate it. And it's really great to share something you find very, very helpful and useful. If you haven't seen our Qlik World session up to now, you can still do it thanks to the online Qlik World. And since I know it's quite hard to find a session there, I have a small hint for you. Just go to search section and search for ETL. Obviously, we are the only one session that is about ETL, at least when it comes to description. So here on my screen, you can see the presentation you have already seen during the Qlik World session, so I'm not going to go through it again. But I just wanted to do a quick summary. Here is the screen about the main topic of the Qlik World session, and it was 3 bottlenecks in data processing we solved by using Qlik. Together with Thomas, we have many years experience in Qlik environment and also data analytics environment as well. And both of us believe and know that Qlik is far more than only a visualization tool. And that's the main message we wanted to share by recording this session. So we were presenting 3 different bottlenecks in data processing. First one was the data preparation and cleaning from multiple systems. So we built a really complex data mart by using Qlik for this financial company, and they use it up to now. So it's a really useful project. The second one was the second request from their side was to solve the manual processes in monthly accounting closure, because in that time they used many different versions of the same Excel file, and it was shared via email, so you can imagine it's not very, very secure. And also there are many issues about consolidating the data in the end, which version is the last one, which is the right one. So we have created a managed process, again, only in QlikSense and by using QlikSense script. And the third request, the third challenge we had there about data processing was the integration of many different systems in customer rating processing. I think we can go through this Q&A session project by project. So we can start by datamart. On our webpage, and the link, the link is here. The webpage is still available. You can fill the form and download this datamart application that were presented during the Qlik World session. Once you fill the form, you will receive the email with the link for downloading the zip file. The zip file contains the application itself, so the QEF, but it also contains this README file. So don't hesitate to open it to see the instructions how the datamart application should be implemented or used in your environment. Some of you were already asking me how to do it, so I think we can do a quick showcase of this simple implementation right now. And I think that implementation is not the right word because it's really simple. First of all, you need to install Infinity Forms on your server if you don't have it there. And don't be worried about the installation. It's really a seamless process because in the zip file you will download from our webpage, you will find this automated installer of Infinity Forms. It's a standard way how Infinity Forms can be implemented on your server. Once the installer is running, it's a next process. I agree, next, some customization if this is what you need, but feel free to let it how it is right now. And in this step, you will request a license key. By clicking on this button, there will be a form and we will generate you a trial license key with unlimited access to users. After I finish the installation, everything is automatically created and updated on your server, and you will find Infinity Forms in the list of extensions. Let's go back to this README file because this is what you will use. So then you will need to import the QEF to your QlikSense environment by using QNC. So there shouldn't be any problem about it. And then in Forms admin app, we will need to create these new roles about Infinity Forms instances. Right after the installation, you will have this Forms admin app automatically uploaded to the My Work of the user who installs it. And on the third sheet, that's called Forms Configuration, you need to create new form instances. And what should be specifically entered here in this field are in README file. So you can simply copy and paste it. Okay, it's here. It's datamart systems, main settings, and so on. Don't forget to click on Update Form Settings button on the same sheet. So these changes will be used. And you will need to copy available XML files because they are full of dummy data you can use from the folder XML from zip file on a server to a new subfolder named DM. And you will find it, if you didn't do any changes during the installation, you will find the right path here. So C, Forms data, and here you need to create a new subfolder DM. And then you can copy and paste XML files from the zip file right here. Then open the app. And there are also some settings if you want to reload the application. So let me open the app, and this is what you will see. The application contains of 5 different sheets. All of them were presented on the session, so if you missed it, don't worry, you can still watch it on Qlik World. As I mentioned again, for those who joined us later, quick tip, search for ETL, and you will find our session. The most often question I had from you guys is that you don't see these buttons here, and you see an error message about invalid visualization. The reason is very simple, and I couldn't do anything about it because if you use the latest version of QlikSense, June 2020, this bundle extension has been moved into standard QlikSense, standard visualizations. So this extension will not be found anymore. On the other hand, if you use previous version of Qlik Sense, everything works fine. So it was for me to make a decision. So if you use June 2020, you can't see these buttons and can't use them, but don't be worried. They are here only for the navigation in the application. And you can still do it by using these arrows. There was also another very often asked question, and that's from those of you who have already implemented this application to their environment. Click recalculate button, and you found out that you don't have these Excel files that was used as a data set for this application. So I decided to solve it for you and share these Excel files with you, because they contains only dummy data, and you can find it here in the files section of this Q&A session. I will also add it to our webpage where you download the application, but if you have already downloaded the application, feel free to download these files here during the session. Very quick intro to the Excel files. There is only one technical requirement that's needed to be met when you want to use this datamart demo application for analyzing your Excel files, and that's the requirement that there should be a sheet that is called Sheets and contains the list of all available sheets. From technical perspective, I think you can imagine the reason is that this list is used for automatically creating load scripts for loading data from the specific sheets within Excel file. Okay, so these are those questions I already had from you about the datamart part of Qlik World session. Do we have any other questions regarding this project? I think, Thomas, you are active in a chat.
There are two questions. One is where we can install the forms server component from.
Okay, thank you. When you download the zip file from our webpage with the datamart application, the installer is already in the zip file, so you can use this one. Or if you want to install Inphinity forms without the demo application, you can find it on our webpage. And all you need is going to download Inphinity form section, fill the form, and you will receive the link for and you will receive the link for downloading Inphinity forms installer.
Thank you. And the second question was where to download the application, and it's basically the same answer.
Where to download the application? Sorry.
The Qlik Sense application you just presented, and it's on the URL that is visible down.
Yeah, it's this URL, and when you click on it, you will be redirected to our news section, because having a Qlik World session was a really big news. And so this is the link. As you can see here, you can find main information about the session itself, also a button for joining this live Q&A session, and here the most important part is the form for downloading the zip file that contains the QVF. It contains the README file with dummy data, and it contains Inphinity Forms installer. So everything you need.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions for this part of the presentation. so I think we can move on.
Okay. If you will have any questions later during this session or after the session, feel free to contact us. You can go to our webpage to contact section, or you can find both of us on LinkedIn, Twitter, almost everywhere. Okay, let's go to the next section. The second part of this Qlik World session was about the manual processes in monthly accounting closure and how we delivered semi-automated process for this monthly closure. Again, if you want to see the session, feel free to watch Qlik World. But there was one very important question I have received from you before this Q&A regarding this accounting closure. This is the demo application. This one is not available for downloading, but it's much more as inspiration for you, how it can be done and how you can use Qlik Sense Sheet for managing different processes with different parameters. And the question I mentioned was about the way how these different buttons are customized, because as I was presented, these buttons triggers different steps of the counting closure. So when I click on this button, the snapshots will start. When I click on this button, the exposure calculation will start, and so on. The trick is very simple, and I think it's not a trick. And the way how it's done is the way how this extension, reload task button and reload task status, is built, because in a properties panel, you can define the task ID of the specific application. So you don't need to trigger the reload of this application where the button is used, but you can choose which task you want and which task you need to trigger. There is only one technical requirement: the task should be created and should be available in the QNC. There is another question, and it's, let me repeat it. Do we need to allow user to see the script of the application? Because I think some of us already know this reload button that's available on a Qlik branch, but its requirement is to allow to see script of published application, and it can be a security issue. But when you use this extension, that's also for free on Qlik branch, you don't need to allow users to see the script, because this button triggers the task and it only automates something that user can already do with his or her permissions in the QNC. Do we have any other questions about this, Thomas, in the chat?
There is one question, and it's asking if it's license-based. I think the person is asking about the reload button.
Okay, if the question is about the reload button, it's for free. You can download it on the Qlik branch, and it's for free for unlimited number of users and for free at all. So feel free to download it and use it in your environment. It's called reload task button, and I have it also here. So you can search for reload task button. And the second extension that was used in this demo application was the reload task status. And as you can see, the status shows you the actual state of the specific reload task, and automatically updated, so you don't need to refresh the window, refresh the sheet in your applications. I hope I answered the question. It's free.
Okay, so that's all what arrived in chat. I think we can move on the third section of the presentation, and that's the integration part, where we integrated Jira as a user entry point for some requests from the users, and Qlik as a integration service, and 2 other external services via SOAP protocol. And we have received a few questions about this. The first one is, how long did it take to deliver the project? If I remember correctly, it was about 6 months from first contact to production. There was a period where we waited for the other participants of this project to deliver their parts. It was the SOAP calculators and the interfaces where we can connect, and also the Jira administration to set up the forms that the users will use and we can read data from. So I think this was a pretty large project, and it has met the timing requirements of the client, so that's what is important. That was the main part of the project, and later on the project was extended during, I think, 1 or 2 months of some design and programming work. So I have received second question. What exactly does the user see in Jira? The user in Jira sees a list of issues or a list of projects where he can create an issue, and one specific type of issue was rating calculation request, where he fills in client information like company name, the product that he is asking about, and different important things about the client and the business he's running. And then when the process is finished, some of the form fields will be updated with the rating result from the calculators and from the data processing. So he will interface with this as an issue in Jira, and some of the fields will be auto-calculated.
Yeah, yes? There's also one in chat, if I may. And the question is, what were your main challenges in this project?
The main challenges were something like impedance mismatch between Qlik environment and the other services, because Qlik was batch processing oriented, and the other services were like request response. So we had to create some custom pieces to link these together. One of that was the WebHook service that will wait for changes in Jira and will trigger a reload in QlikSense, and the other was a special HTTP connector to allow us to update some data in Jira and to request the data from SOAP interfaces. Okay, I have another question here. Are there any necessary settings on Jira side? There are few settings we did, or the company responsible for Jira did on our request. And first was having a technical user that will be used for accessing and updating the forms, but this is a regular user in Jira with assigned rights on the project issues that we will be interfacing with. And the second one was to create a webhook notification in Jira that basically will make an HTTP request when something on issues that we are interested in will change, like new issue is created or information on the issue is updated, we will get this notification. And obviously some forms needed to be created, like the schema for the Jira issues, but this is standard procedure in Jira. If you want, you can connect to any type of issue. Just this project used specific types of issue with custom fields to be able to enter all the necessary information in structured form.
And there is one more question, and that's how often is this whole process updated?
The process runs every time new request lands in Jira or is updated in Jira, but at least once an hour. We wait for the notifications from Jira. So when new issue is created, it is immediately run. But if we miss the notification for some reason, or it is not sent, or we check every hour if there are new issues in Jira, and if there are, we run the whole process to update and to calculate all the necessary information.
Mm-hmm. I remember this project, and it was it was very interesting to define and also test all of this.
Yeah. So I don't see any more questions.
Me neither. So I think we don't need to spend this. Okay, there is another message in the chat. This update are a real-time basis. Do you agree, Thomas?
Near real time. We are running this process every time new request is created, and it runs in near real time. It's not like immediately, but they have results in a minute or so, because the calculations take some time, but it is scheduled immediately to run. This is a large improvement in the process for the client, because before that, these informations need to be entered into the rating calculation systems manually, and it obviously took much longer than a minute or two when it's done automated in an integrated way.
As I know, large financial companies, and not only financial companies, I think that the result in minute is really a real-time basis, or can be considered as it. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them right now. We are still here, and we are reading this message board, so feel free to ask. If you will have any questions after this session, don't hesitate to contact us via our webpage, via LinkedIn, or any other social media where you can find us.
I would like to thank all the attendees that have seen our session and participated in this Q&A session. And again, you are welcome to ask more questions on our contacts.
And here you can see our contact as well. And I really want to thank all of you again as well. It was a really great experience to have a Qlik World session. It was really great. I really hope that our session got you inspired. Feel free to contact us, and we will be really happy to help you. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Thank you all. Have a nice day.